Okay, we are on the Mishnah on Daf Yud Amud Beis. The Mishnah says, Beis Shammai Omrim Be'erev Kol Adam Yitev V'Yikra, that Beis Shammai says that in the evening a person must lie down when they say the Shema, B'Boker Ya'amod, and in the morning they get up to say the Shema, meaning physically. Shina Amar, as the pasuk says, Ubeshach b'chav kamecha, that you're supposed to say the Shema when you lie down and when you are upright. Beis Hillel Omrim, so Beis Shammai takes that literally, but Beis Hillel says, Kol Adam Kar Kedarko, Shina Amar Uvalachtecha B'derech. No. Beis Hillel says that you can say Kriya Shema in any which way, standing up, sitting down, lying down, it doesn't matter, because the Torah says, even when you're going on the way, meaning that in any which way you say Kriya Shema, any physical way. Then why is it that the Torah says, when you get up and when you lie down and when you get up, what's that referring to? That Beis Hillel understands that that's referring to at the time that people are either lying down or are upright, meaning sleeping or awake, nighttime or daytime. Amar Rabbi Tarfon, Rabbi Tarfon said, Ani hayiti ba baderech, I was calling on the road, he teisi likros kedivrei Beis Shammai, and I lied down in order to fulfill Beis Shammai shita, si kanti ba'asmi v'pnei halistem, and I even did this and I endangered myself because of robbers that are on the road. Amrulo, the sages said to him, said that it would have been fitting, it would have been okay, you would have deserved harm to come your way. Because you transgressed the opinion of Beis Hillel and you followed Beis Shammai's opinion. We're going to get back to in the Gemara to understand Rabbi Tarfon. Says the Gemara, Bishlama Beis Hillel, I understand Beis Hillel come Mefarshi Tamayu, because Beis Hillel they defended themselves with time of the Beis Shammai and their reasoning for Beis Shammai. I understand that. Ela Beis Hillel, my time lo Amri Kebe. Ela Beis Shammai, my time lo Amri Beis Hillel. What we still have yet to understand is why is it that Beis Hillel does not say, why does Beis Shammai not say like Beis Hillel? Meaning Beis Hillel explained how he understood the entire pasuk, that when people are lying down and people are getting up, and and when you're going on the way, to prove that you can say it in any which way. Beis Shammai only interpreted the part of the pasuk that says physically, but how now is he going to understand? So Amri L'cha Beis Shammai. Beis Shammai is going to say to you, Im Kain, Nemakra Baboker Ba'erev. Hold on. Before we get to understanding the second half of the pasuk, the Torah should have said, if it wanted to teach just the time of day, it would have said the time of day. Baboker Ba'erev. My b'shachach kumecha. What does the Torah mean when it says b'shachach kumecha? B'shach shchiva mamish. Physically, when you're lying down, b'shakima kiva mamish. At the time that you were actually standing up, Beis Shammai, now how is he going to understand the second half of the pasuk? It's used for the following brisa, that this is the source for Beis Shammai that osik b'mitzvah is pater min ha mitzvah. Prat le chasan is coming to teach that a chasan is not obligated to say Kriya Shema. Mikan Amru, from here we learn, Hakonis is a basula, pater, that anyone who marries a basula is pater, that's almana chayev, and if you marry a almana, you are obligated. My mashma, how do we get that from the pasuk? Mira papa ki derech, ma derech rishus, af kol rishus, because it says v'lech derech. Derech teaches that you are going on your way, says Rav Papa. It's to your discretion where you want to go. Therefore, it's to, we see from here that when you are going on your way, when you're doing your own command, when you're following your own command, that's when you have to say Shema, but when you're following God's command, that's not the case. But maybe the person is going for to do a mitzvah, and even so, the Torah says you have to say Kriya Shema. Then the Torah would have said when you go and when you stay and when you go. My my be shiftecha u'lechtecha. What does it mean when it says when you are sitting and when you are going, during your sitting and you are going? B'sheves didach u'leches didach hu d'mechayeves. Only when you're following your own direction, like we just explained. Ha de mitzvah p'tiris. However, if you're going following God's command, when you're going to do a mitzvah, then you are pater. Yihachi, the Gemara really presses over here. It says, Afilu konas almana nami. If that's the case, then even if you marry an almana, you're still performing a mitzvah. Therefore, why would you be off the hook? Hi tarid, because someone who's marrying a basula is tarid. He's nervous. V'hai loy tarid. And when you marry the almana, you are not tarid. Yimishum tir, to hold on. If we're just concerned because the person is nervous, afilu tavas finaso bayam nami. So, and even let's say somebody has a major shipment going out to sea, it might not make it to the next port. So you're nervous the entire time. That could be over a 2-week period. Now, maybe you should say that so too, such a person who has that kind of a business doesn't have to say the Shema. Amar Rabbi Abba Bar Zavda Amar Rav. Rabbi Abba Bar Zavda said the name of Rav. Hold on. And a further raya that we don't go based off of tirda is because someone who is in the middle of Shiva, the only mitzvah that they don't do is they don't put on tefillin on the first day of Avelus because of the Gzer Zakasav, because tefillin have to be worn in a state of glory. That you are supposed to wear upon your head. You're supposed to wear the glory, i.e. the tefillin. This is in the pasuk in Yechezkel where we learn from what God told Yechezkel to do, meaning the type of avelus that he was told to do is what we don't do. So the Gemara now answers. The Gemara says, Hasam tarid tirda de mitzvah. No. In the case when you're marrying the basula, your preoccupation is upon fulfilling of the mitzvah of bia rishona. Hacha tarid tirda de rishus. However, with regard to the almana and with regard to the almana and for the avel, that is tirda de rishus. That is your own personal choice to be nervous, meaning with your when you send out your stuff overseas, that's up to you whether or not you're going to be nervous, whether or not you have proper emunah. With regard to the almana, there's no mitzvah of bia rishona. There's a mitzvah to marry her. There's no mitzvah of bia rishona, and therefore the tirda is only a tirda de rishus. And when it comes to avelus, also it is a tirda de rishus. It's a choice to be tarid. We have to understand, what does that mean that for an avel you have a choice to be upset and preoccupied with what's going on? So Rashi in Masechah Sukkah on Daf Chaf Hey Amud Aleph deals with this question, and Rashi says the following: Sha'af al pishu chayev linhog avelus shel neila rechitza v'sicha laharos kavod meso. Rashi says that there's a lot of hilchos avelus. There's hilchos avelus that you have to change your shoes, and you can't bathe, and you can't anoint, and you have to sit on the floor. And there's a lot of hilchos avelus. Those halachos are not to cause sa'ar, they're not to cause pain. Rather, they are for kavod hames, to show honor to the deceased. Therefore, says Rashi, Eino chayv litzdair. One is not obligated to torture themselves during avelus. What do you see from here? So what you see from here is that the pain of avelus, which is what our Gemara is talking about, the tirda, the pain, the preoccupation that comes with avelus, is not a chiyuv. One has to understand this in light of the Rambam, because the Rambam writes the following in the end of Perek Yud Gimel of Hilchos Avelus. The Rambam writes, Kol mi she'eno misabel kamo she'tzivu chachamim. Anyone that does not perform avelos the way that the chachamim dictate, hareze achzari, then they are a callous and cold person. Ella yifchad v'yid'ag v'yipashpesh b'masav v'yachzor b'tshuva. Rather, it's supposed to be a time where you are supposed to be nervous and you're supposed to worry and you're supposed to do introspection and then you're supposed to do tshuva. But what does the Rambam leave out? He does not leave out that a person has to cause tsar to themselves. So you see from here, you see from the Rambam, and you see from Rashi that based on our Gemara, that the tirda that one experiences during Avelis is all a rishus. Okay, continues the Gemara. Continues the Gemara. Ube Shammai. Now, what according to Beis Shammai, how are we going to understand uvalechta chavadera? That if we are using uvalechta chavadera to teach a tour of osik b'mitzvah pater on a mitzvah, so what's Beis Shammai going to do? What's Beis Shammai going to do with uvalech chavadera? Because now we know that in reality the makor for the source for osik b'mitzvah pater on a mitzvah is from uvalech ubeshach becha ufkumecha. But what about uvalech chavadera? So hahu min ba'eluhu prat l'shluchei mitzvah. No, this is coming to teach that even someone who's on their way to go perform a mitzvah, they were sent to go do a mitzvah, so too they are considered an osek b'mitzvah, and they would be pater min ha-mitzvah. Ubeis Hillel amri, and Beis Hillel says, memela shma mina da'afilu b'derech nami kari. We learn from b'shach b'cha uvkumecha that even a shluchei mitzvah is pater from doing other mitzvahs. Okay. The Gemara continues. Tana Rabban. The rabbis taught the following. Beis Hillel Omer. Beis Hillel says Omdin v'korin, that one is supposed to be standing while they say the Shema, Yoshvin v'korin. If they're sitting while they say the Shema, Matan v'korin, they could lie down and say the Shema. Cholchem b'derech v'korin, while they're on their way, you go say the Shema. Osam b'malachtan v'korin, you're doing work and you can say the Shema. Ma'aser Rabbi Shmuel v'Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. There's a certain ma'aser that happened to Rabbi Shmuel and Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah. Shayim mesuvim makom echad. They were relaxing in a certain place. Rabbi Shmuel muta. Rabbi Shmuel was lying down. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah zakov, and Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah was standing up, or he was sitting up. Kiven she'giz man kriya shema, he to Rabbi Elazar v'zakov Rabbi Shmuel. And when the time of kriya shema came, they switched. Rabbi Elazar lied down, and Rabbi Shmuel sat up. Amr Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah, Rabbi Shmuel. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah said to Rabbi Shmuel, Yishmael lachi, Yishmael my brother, I'll explain to you what your action is like. It's like someone that people say that your beard is fully grown. So it should be cut. It should be cut off. So to you, that while I'm sitting up, you lie down. Now that I lie down, you stood up. Meaning that as soon as I compliment you, as soon as I get up, then you lie down. It's almost like a slap in the face. Amrullah, Rabbi Shmuel said to him, I'm following Beis Hillel. But you are following Beis Shammai. Not only that, not only that, because maybe they're going to see someone lying down when they say the Shema, and then they're going to be kovea the halacha, that the halacha valos Beis Shammai, that you have to lie down when you say the Shema at night. My v'lo. Why does he need this second reason? The reason is because Beis Hillel says you are allowed to lie down when you say the Shema. That's only if you already were lying down. But before you were sitting up straight, and then you lie down to say the Shema. Then that's why they're going to infer the Talmidim and say that the halacha must be like Beis Shammai, which we know the halacha is not like Beis Shammai. Rabbi Yechezkel said, that one could you could do like Beis Shammai, you could do like Beis Hillel. Rabbi Yosef Amar, Rabbi Yosef said, Beis Shammai lo asa lo klum. But Rabbi Yosef said that anyone who follows Beis Shammai, it's as if they did nothing. Ditnan, as we learn in the Mishnah, Mishahaya Rosho Veruba B'Shulchan B'Toch Habayis. That over here, the Mishnah, the Gemara is going to use an example. The Mishnah has a machlokus in Beis Shammai and Beis Hillel with regard to the size that one sukkah needs to be. Beis Hillel says that a sukkah needs to fit only Rosho Verubo, your head and most of your body. Beis Shammai says it needs to fit Rosho Verubo V'Shulchano. Has to fit your head, most of your body, and the table inside the sukkah. Beis Hillel would say that the table can sit inside of the house as long as your head and most of your body is inside of the sukkah. The Gemara over here, then the Gemara over there, we're going to learn, says that you cannot follow, we pass like Beis Shammai over there, it's one of the few examples we pass like Beis Shammai, and you are not allowed to follow like Beis Hillel, and if you do, it's as if you did not fulfill the mitzvah of sukkah. We're going to use that from looking from the opposite way, the inverse of that, to teach that so too, since we pass like Beis Hillel with regard to with most other things, if you were to follow Beis Shammai's opinion, it's as if you did not fulfill the mitzvah at all. Says the Mishnah, if you have your head and most of your body inside the sukkah and your table is inside the house, Beis Shammai Beis Shammai says it's possible, Beis Hillel Beis Hillel says it's kosher. Beis Hillel said to Beis Shammai, this thing the Beis Hillel Rabbi Yechanan ben Acharanis, that the students of Beis Shammai Beis Hillel went to go see Rabbi Yechanan ben Acharanis. They saw that his head and most of his body was inside the house, and his table was inside the sukkah, and his table was inside the house. And they didn't say anything to him. The Beis Shammai did not say anything to him. Amru lahem, they said to him, Misham raya. No, you don't bring a raya from there. Afhem, Amru lo. They in fact did say something to him. You know what they said to him? They said, Im ken ha'isa noheg, if this is the way that you are acting, meaning this is the conduct that you're doing, you have your table inside the house and you are sitting in the sukkah, lo kayamta mitzvah sukkah miyamecha. It's as if you never fulfilled the mitzvah of sukkah in your life. What do we see from there? That if you follow the opinion we don't paskin like in the machlokas in Beis Shammai Beis Hillel, it's as if you never fulfilled the obligation at all. Rav Nachman Bar Yitzchak said, "Also Gediver Beis Shammai Chayev Misa." If anyone follows the ruling of Beis Shammai, it's as if they are obligated mitzvah. Ditnan, as it says in the end of our Mishnah, Amr Rabbi Tarfon. Rabbi Tarfon says, "Ani hayiti baba derech." I was going on the way by Tasi Likros Gediver Beis Shammai, and I lie down in order to follow Beis Shammai's opinion. Zikanti ba'atzmi mipnei halistim, and I endangered myself because of the bandits on the road. Amr lo. The sages said to him, that if harm would have came your way, it would have been your fault, because you went against the words of Beis Hillel. Now, Tosos points out that we have a little bit of a problem over here. So Tosos later that the Gemara has that on Daf Nun Gimel Beis, a story of that there was a Talmud, a student in the yeshiva, that went back to his place to bench Brachos Hamazon. That is the opinion of Beis Shammai, that you have to bench in the place that you ate, as opposed to Beis Hillel says that one is not obligated to do that. And the Gemara says, "Is charish le nisa," that a nace happened to. He was rewarded with a nace happening to the student because he was mizaris himself because he was machmer for Beis Shammai. So we have an issue over here, which is that it seems like from our Gemara that one is never allowed to follow the opinion of Beis Shammai unless the Gemara says that we pass like Beis Shammai. You are not allowed to follow the opinion of Beis Shammai. So there's so in the Sefer Ginas Vradim, he has over there that the Isser to be machmer like Beis Shammai, that's only if there is no mila, there's no, you're not, fulfilling both shitas, let's say. You're choosing to follow Beis Shammai over Beis Hillel, but there's no hiddur mitzvah involved. It's not you're fulfilling the mitzvah and not in any greater way. However, if there's a hiddur in following Beis Shammai, then certainly one can be machmer and follow Beis Shammai. And that's the Gemara over there with the Talmud that went back to benching his place. Even, of course, Beis Hillel would say that there's a mila in benching the place that you ate. But Beis Hillel just say you just don't have to do that. Beis Shammai says that there's a chiyuv to do that. Therefore, if you want to be machmer like Beis Shammai and fulfill the hiddur in that, therefore you can go do it. However, in our case, in our Mishnah, whether you lie down or you sit up, is there more of a hiddur? No. And anything, Beis Hillel would say that it's more kavadik to sit up than to lie down potentially. That's why the Ginas Vradim ends off and he says, "B'kriyas mashal shachris hamachmer likros me'umad hala zaris v'nishchar the kriyas me'umad have shevach lekavod leTorah." That's why he says that if someone wants to stand up in the morning when they say Kriya Shema, then you could fulfill a chumrah, because clearly it's more kavadik to stand up to say the Shema. There seems to be a Yerushalmi that goes against this comment in the Ginas Vradim. The Mishnah Berurah says that best to do is to sit up when you say the Shema in both scenarios. And if someone is already standing up, they should stop in their place in order so that they can concentrate better to say the Shema. Okay, let's continue. We are at the Mishnah on the bottom of Yud Aleph Amud Aleph. Says the Mishnah. In the morning, you say 2 brachos of Kriya Shema, 2 before, and 1 after Kriya Shema. In the at night, you say 2 before and 2 after. 2 brachos Kriya Shema before, 2 brachos Kriya Shema afterwards. Achas arucha v'achas kitzara. One is if one you say 1 lengthy bracha and 1 shorter bracha. Whenever the Chachamim say that you have to say a long bracha, one is not allowed to make it shorter. However, if they say you have to make a short bracha, you can't make it longer. If the bracha has a conclusion of Baruch Hashem at the end of the bracha, then you can't skip that part. And shalei lichtime inner shay lichtime. And if it does not have a conclusion, then you do not have the ability to conclude the bracha with a Baruch Hashem yourself. Okay. There's a machlokes over here between Rashi and Tosos what the definition of arucha and ktsara is. Rashi says arucha in our case is emes ve'emuna, and ktsara, the short one, is hashivenu. Tosos doesn't like his definition. Look over here at Tosos. They were maskal achas arucha achas ktsara. Let's see the Gemara. My mevarech. What are the brachos that we recite with Kriya Shema? Amar Rabbi Yaakov. Amar Rabbi Oshia. Rabbi Yaakov says in the name of Rabbi Oshia. Yoter or Vorei Choshech Yud Aleph Beis. You say Yoter or Vorei Choshech. Lema Yoter or Vorei Noga. Why don't we say Yotzer Or Nora Bora Noga, that he creates Noga, which means like a twilight, which is better to say that than to say darkness, which has a more negative connotation. K'dichsiv ka'amrinan. The reason is because we say it. K'dichsiv ka'amrinan. We say choshech because that's the way it's written in the pasuk. Elama'ata osa shalom uvori ra. My ka'amrinan k'dichsiv. The pasuk continues and it says that Hashem makes peace and creates ra and creates evil. Ksiv ra v'karinan hakol. What do we say? Osa shalom ubari hakol. We don't say ra, which is because the reason is lishna ma'alya, because it is a nicer connotation. Hachanami lema noga lishna ma'alya. So too lishna ma'alya, a nicer language should override lishna dekra. Ella Amar Rava, rather Rava said, Kedei lahaskir midas yom balaylo midas laila b'yom. It's in order so that we can mention the characteristic of day at night and the characteristic of night during the day. Bishlama midas laila b'yom. I understand that we say the midah of laila during the day. Kedamrinan yotzer or choshech, that we say yotzer orivori choshech. We reference choshech elamidas yom balayla hechim mishkachasla. Where do you have a reference to yom at the nighttime creation of brachos? Amar Abaye gola or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or. That he removes light from darkness and darkness from light. V'idach maihi. What's the other bracha beside for Yotzer Or? Amar Yehuda, Amar Shmuel, Ava Rabba. You say Ava Rabba. V'chein Ori le Rabbi Elazar le Rabbi Pedasbre. That this is what Rabbi Elazar said to his son Rabbi Pedas, Ava Rabba. That with a lot of love. So too, there's a brayz that says you say avas olam and not avas rabba. The rabbi say avas olam. That the language is an internal love, not just a lot of love. The Rishonim discuss which one should you say. Take a look at Tosos at the top of Yud Aleph on the base. That based on this machlokas, whether you say Avarab or Avas Olam, Hilkach Tiknu says Tosos Lomar B'Shachris Avarab Arbis Avas Olam. That's why the rabbis made the takana that in the morning you say Avaraba, but at night you say Avas Olam. However, in Shulchan Aruch we paskin that you say Avas Olam, both by Shachris and by Mar, because we pass them with Chachamim. Rabbi Yehuda, Amar Shmuel. Rabbi Yehuda said in Shmuel, Hishkim Lishanos, that if someone gets up to study Torah, Achelo Kar Kriyashma, and he has yet to say the Shema Tzarech Levarech, he has to say Birchos HaTorah, Mishikar Kriyashma. However, once he says Kriyashma, Ein Tzarech Levarech, he does not need to say Birchos HaTorah, Shekfar Nitzar Ba'avarabba, because he already fulfilled his obligation through the bracha of Avarabba. The bracha of Avarabba could act as a fulfillment of the bracha of Birchas HaTorah. It's mashma from the Gemara, and we won't get into this now, but it's mashma from the Gemara that Avarabba is even better than Birchas HaTorah, because it says that if someone wants to learn, but they have yet to have said the Shema, meaning that it would have been better for you to say the Shema first, and that act as your Birchas Kriyashma, as your Birchas HaTorah. We don't paskin that way. We paskin that you ideally should be saying Birchas HaTorah, and then if you didn't, then Birchas Kriyashma with Avarabba can count. Amar Hamnuna, Lemikra Tzarech Levarech, Lemedrash Ein Tzarech Levarech, that you only have to say Birchas HaTorah if you are going to be learning Torah Shebechsav, but not if you're going to be learning Medrash. You don't have to say Birchas HaTorah. Rabbi Elazar Omer, Rabbi Elazar says, Lemikra, Lemedrash Tzarech Levarech, that when it comes to Mikra and Midrash, you have to say Birchas HaTorah, LeMishnah Ein Tzarech Levarech, but not for Mishnah. Rabbi Yochanan Amar, Rabbi Yochanan says, Af LeMishnah Nami Tzarech Levarech, even for Mishnah you have to say Birchas Torah v'al Talmud eino tzarich levarich, but not for Talmud. V'Rava Amar af Talmud tzarich levarich, and we obviously paskin like Rava. The Amar Rev Chia Bar Ashi. Rev Chia Bar Ashi said Zimnin Sagin Havik Amina Kame de Rav. There were many occasions where I stood before Rav. Lis Nuye Pirkin be Sifra de Be Rav. In order so we could learn Sifra together. Having Makdim v'Kamashri Yadei. That we would get up and we would wash our hands, ubarich, and we would say Birchas Torah, umasin lo pirkin, and then we would learn the Sifra. My mevarich. Oh, what is Birchas HaTorah? Amar Rabbi Yehuda Amar Shmuel. Rabbi Yehuda saying Shmuel Asher Kisham supposed to zvanu la'asok b'divrei Torah, a bracha that we are supposed to be osik b'divrei Torah. Rabbi Yechanan Messiah Bahafi, and Rabbi Yechanan said the bracha needs to end with a beseech to God. Harevna Adonai Eloheinu es divrei Torah chabafinu, that God should make the Torah sweet in our mouths and in the mouths of the entire Jewish people. And that our children and grandchildren and everyone in your nation should be people that know your name and learn your Torah. Baruch atah Hashem hamelamed Torah l'amo Yisrael. Blessed are Hashem that teaches Torah to the Jewish people. So that you add the blessing of that the bracha is Asher Bachanu. Baruch atah Hashem nosen Torah. Rav Amar Rav Hamnuna Zuhi Ma'ulosh Brachos. This is the greatest of all the brachos upon the Torah Hilkach Lemir Lukuhu. That's why we say all of the brachos with regard to Birchas HaTorah. We are at the two dots on Yud Aleph Amud Beis. Before we continue, so in Shulchan Aruch we paskin exactly this, that if someone did not say Birchas HaTorah, they could fulfill their bracha of Birchas HaTorah through Ava. Through Avas Olam Ava Rabba. The Yerushalmi says though that if one is going to do this, they need to be shine al atar, that they need to right away learn right when they have their first opportunity to. The Beis Yosef in Siman Mem Zayin has a suffix though. The suffix of the Beis Yosef is whether or not Kriya Shema counts as the learning that's done immediately following Avas Olam, whether or not that will fulfill the suffix. Just to point out, the Kilas Yaakov, the Stipler in Siman Yud Daled, and also Reb Chaim Knievsky in Siach Hasada Chela Gimel, where he has his Ha'aras on Shas, on Ar Sugya, says from the Chazon Ish, that for sure Kriya Shema is going to work to fulfill this Yerushalmi. There's no real reason why it shouldn't work. We know from our Gemara certainly that the Gemara says that Kriya Shema is a part of Talmud Torah. There's a Gemara in Nedarim that makes that very, very clear. A Gemara in Menachos on Daf Tzadi Tes that makes it clear that Kriya Shema is considered Talmud Torah. So then, if that's the case, what would be the suffix of the Beis Yosef? So Rav Elyashiv wanted to point out that why is it that the Yerushalmi says you have to learn al atar, you have to learn right away when you are finished with saying Ava Rabba? The reason is because you need to make a hechrech, you need to make it clear that you wanted Ava Rabba to count for your Birchas HaTorah. Therefore, the first moment you have, you learn Torah, and that's going to make it muchrach that you wanted to fulfill your obligation of Birchas HaTorah through Ava Rabba. The suffix of the Beis Yosef is Kriya Shema Vade is considered Talmud Torah, but is it enough of a hechrech? Because either way, you're going to be saying Kriya Shema, but so is it enough of a hechrech that your bracha of Ava Rabba counted for Birchas HaTorah? Okay. The Gemara continues. It's not Hassam. We learned in the Mishnah over there. Amar Lahem Hamamuna. The Kohanim would say Baruchu Bracha Achas, that Baruch Hu is a single blessing. Vehem Baruch Hu, and that is that's Baruch Hu. V'karu Aseres HaDibros, and then they would say the Aseres HaDibros, Shema v'hayim Shemoah v'yomer. You say Shema v'hayim Shemoah, the three paragraphs of Shema and v'yomer. U'Baruch Hu es ha'am shalosh brachos. They would say the three brachos to the people. Emes v'yatziv, avoda, u'berchas kohanim. They would say emes v'yatziv, the bracha of the avoda, and berchas kohanim. B'Shabbos musafim bracha achas l'mishmar hayotze. And on Shabbos they would add on another bracha. My bracha achas. What's this extra bracha? Ki ha. So what was this extra bracha that the kohanim said? Ki ha de Rabbi Abba Rabbi Yossi bar Abba iklu lahahu asra. That Rabbi Abba and Rabbi Yossi bar Abba came from a certain place. Bo minayu. And the people asked them, "My bracha achas, what is this bracha achas?" Loi havi biyadahu, and they didn't have an answer. Va'asu shailuhu l'Rav Masna. They sent the question to Rav Masna. Lo havi biyadeh, and he also didn't know the answer. Asu shailu l'Rav Yehuda. They sent the question to Rav Yehuda. Amri lo hachi amri shmuel ava rabba. This bracha that they would say is the bracha of ava rabba. The Amar Reb Zreika Amar Rabbi Ami Amar Reb Shimon ben Lakish Yotzer Or. Reish Lakish had a different Masorah that they said Yotzer Or. Ki Asa Rabbi Yitzchak bar Yosef Amar Rav. When Rabbi Yitzchak bar Yosef came to Babel, Ha de Rabbi Zreika Lav Pirish Itmar. The ruling of Reb Zreika in the name of Reish Lakish, that they said Yotzer Or, it was not said explicitly, Ela Miklala Itmar, rather they inferred it from a different statement of Reish Lakish. The Amar Zreika, Amar Rabbi Ami, Amar Reb Shimon ben Lakish. Zos Omeris, that this comes to teach brachos ein ma'akvos zu and zu, that one bracha is not ma'akiv the other bracha, meaning if one only said one of the Brachos Kriya Shema, it's not going to be the ikuva of the other Brachos Kriya Shema. So we know that they said Yotzer Or, Hainu de brachos ein ma'akvos zu. And that's why the brachos are ma'akiv one another. Delay ka'amri ava rabba, because and we can infer that they did not say ava rabba. They only said Yotzer Or. Ela amris ava rabba have amri. Now maybe you could suggest that the one bracha they said was ava rabba, and that was to and that fulfilled both of Yotzer Or also of and therefore my brachos in ma'akuzuzu. So what proof is there from saying that the brachos are not ma'akev one another? Del mahai delay amri Yotzer Or mishum delomata zman Yotzer Or. Oh, because maybe they didn't say Yotzer Or because it had not yet come to the time of Yotzer Or. Mata Zman Yotzer Or Have Amri. And when the time of Yotzer Or came, then they would say Yotzer Or. You see the high Mikala Mai, and if Rav Zeker derived this ruling from an inference, so what? Why does it matter that he got it from a klala? Because if it was from a klala, then that teaches that they did say Avrama Masa Zman Yotzer Or Have Amri Lay. And when Yotzer Or would come, then they would say the bracha of Yotzer Or. And my brachos ein ma'akiv. What does it mean that the brachos are not ma'akiv one another? It means seder habrachos. It means the order that the brachos are recited in. Okay, very good. There's a just before we finish this daf, there's a very important. There's a very important tosos over here that Tosos wonders that when we say Berachos HaTorah in the morning or Avarabba or however we fulfill our mitzvah of Berachos HaTorah, that's in the morning, and then we learn afterwards. But Tosos wonders. Take a look at Tosos on Yud Aleph on the base. Tosos says v'nishal harav Rabbi Yitzchak going anu she'en anu lomdim miyad la'achar tfilas hashachar, that if someone does not learn right away she'anu tordin v'holchem because we're going to work kach below la'amod below limud ad emsa yom or yoser, and sometimes we don't get to open up the Gemara until later in the day. Then why is it that we don't say Birchas Torah again when we get back to learning? And the Tosos gives a few answers, but Tosos says that he says the following. He says